Hey guys, I want to talk to you guys now about the 70s, but I also want to ask you a question. First of all, I don't know what the general audience age range is for these videos, but I'm wondering two things. First of all, were you born in the 70s or did you live in the 70s or grew up in the 70s? And second of all, do you love 70s music? Because two things I want to say about that is one, if you were born in the 70s, that's fascinating, and I want to know about how the hippie movement was, because that sounds like a really fun time to have existed. But second of all, if you're just someone like me who loves 70s music, what kind of music do you listen to? I love the Beatles and I love the Doors and I love that soundtrack from Interstellar that has that one Hans Zimmer song that reminds me of like that one band from the 70s, but I can't remember what they're called or what their name is. Might be the Grateful Dead, but I don't know. Um, anyway, I just love that kind of like music and that movement and just how it makes you feel and like how the music just like kind of just takes you on a trip itself. But the music really just like allows you to enjoy the music, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't obviously take the place of a vacation, but it just really kind of moves you. Maybe no. It makes you. It's not the same as like soul music, which really makes you feel something and really like um, just has that exact effect. I guess without any more need to describe. But whenever you feel it, it's just like a whole. It's like a whole new world. That's the best way to describe it. I think. It's like it opens your eyes to like something completely new and different. So, anyway, maybe it's the Doors I'm thinking of. I don't know. But all I can think of right now is "Light My Fire." I don't know what the song is that I'm thinking of. But anyway, um, what was I gonna say? Um, um, the best thing I think about the 70s is still that we can still do a lot of the best things from the 70s today. We just have a more modern world and different, so we have to keep that in mind as we do things because you're not going to be able to find a Woodstock anywhere anytime soon. With that having been said, you can still do a lot of fun things in real life and still have a lot of fun. But if you're waiting for something to happen, maybe you have to be the person to start it yourself because no one's just going to come along from the ether or from the other world and just start doing things that already aren't being done. So if you're a mover and a shaker on Earth today, maybe you should start moving and shaking. Maybe you should stop hoping the 70s are going to happen again. Maybe you should stop wondering if it's still the 1980s. Maybe you should stop thinking that Space Jam is still the most important thing in your life. Because three things I'm going to tell you is one, you can go out there and you can slam dunk in your own court. Two, you should stop trying to disco ball in your brain and just get out there and meet a girl. And three, if you still think that love and happiness are going to win over the world, you're late to the party. So, which is because it's already done. Because love and hate, it already did win out. It already did win out the world. If you don't believe that hate is already out, you should watch Star Wars again and just remember that the Emperor is like the bad guy, and that's like the entire plot of the movie. And he tries to convince Luke to let the hate consume him, and Luke's like, "No, I'll never do that." And that's the entirety of Star Wars, summarized up for you very succinctly. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Another great thing about I'll just get back to the present. But before that, I'm going to touch on the 2000s because that was one of the best decades ever, but not as good as the 2010s in my opinion for a lot of reasons, and I'll tell you why. But not yet. The 2000s were an awesome decade for a lot of reasons. One was like the start of like the information, but like the modern age more specifically. So I'd say the information age really didn't hit to like the 2010s, 2020s because that's when like the cyber network really got huge, and that's when it was like the biggest kind of thing. Well, actually, let me draw a distinction. I'll say the information age was like the 90s, and I'll say the cyber era was the 2010s, 2020s. That's when everything really took a huge jump to digital. Because in 2010s, you'd still like go and hang out at your friends' houses or friends' places and still do things like in real life and wouldn't worry too much about like what's going on online, except for like maybe if you wanted to like check something on the internet. But in the 2010s, 2020s, everything was digital, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It all just blew up to the point where like it was like the entirety of everything was based online. So that. But I'll say the 1990s are probably the information era because that's when like the internet first came out and everyone was suddenly like, oh my god, we have access to information. We can just go online and look up whatever we want. And that's when you realize you could learn anything you want on Earth. But if you want a good quality education, you might have to go to school or college or university. Because to be able to learn things is much different than just trying to read and gather the information on your own online, trying to piece together some kind of course that'll allow you to absorb the knowledge. So anyway, the other thing that I want to talk about is our current era. I'm gonna call it the missions era because everything I feel like is just prepping us for something huge, and I feel like we're just like an awesome planet, just like stage and attack position to just grab this year's challenge by the butt and just tear into it. So I don't know, but anyway, I think we have an awesome setup and an awesome potential to achieve a lot this decade. but I think everyone needs to get on board with the mission in order for this thing to become a success. So that's what I have to say about that. Anyway, apart from that, the idea of the different decades and how they're distinct is not anything I need to comment on or want to or feel like. So I'm just gonna keep talking. But I did want to refer back to the 2000s for one other reason. That's that there are a lot of really good movies. Like one that I remember was Armageddon. I almost said Apocalypse, but that's a different movie. It's called Apocalypse Now, and it's about the Vietnam something. But anyway, there was a lot of really cool movies, and you could learn so much from watching movies, just about like how you wanted to be in life, but like how you felt in life about certain scenarios or certain cases, like the Truman Capote thing. You could form an opinion on that. I'm not into gay people, but if you were, maybe you felt differently about it than me. I was just like, oh, here's just an author who's recognized for his greatness, or whatever it was. But whatever your opinion was whatever your opinion was. So I don't know. The other thing is you could watch movies and just like root for the hero and just be thrilled by the action. Or take those lessons and apply them to your real life in the ways that you do. Like I remember when I watched American Sniper, there was a really good idea that the dad touched upon, which is that he was talking to his son, and he said, son, like if you ever become a sheepdog's enemy, I have to phrase it as, but if you ever... So Bradley Cooper was a person who was portrayed in the movie as... no, someone's fighting me, I don't know, it's stupid. But anyway, Bradley Cooper... What the dad of Bradley Cooper's character said to Bradley Cooper was, son, you're a sheepdog. If you ever become a wolf, then I'll be disappointed in you, is like the gist of it. But I don't know what the point of this is, because there's too many wolves in my reality right now, and they're all just dumb and dying, because it's so easy to kill wolves these days, because they're all just stupid, and they lost the werewolves a long time ago. And then also, I don't know if you like lore, but if you do, just keep listening. And also, because that whole pack obsoleted itself when the wolf dog arose, and the wolf dog beat all the wolves by being the alpha wolf of the sheepdog, and then the alpha wolf just becomes assimilated with the sheepdogs, and they realize it's just a super sheepdog. So anyway, that's why all the wolves lost to this point in time. But then they just get more cunning, like, okay, I can trick them this time. Anyway, the point was that Bradley Cooper said he'd never become an American. Well, he didn't say it verbatim, but the point was that the character kind of had that ingrained in his soul, or whatever you want to call it, to never become see, maybe Bradley Cooper was a bad person. But anyway, the character was never become a wolf. The character of the American Sniper character was the ideal, never become a wolf. So essentially, the point of American Sniper was to teach people that Bradley Cooper's character was ingrained at a young age to never become a wolf. So, but the idea was supposed to have spread. And the phrase is like wildfire. So, anyway. Another thing that I want to touch upon in the 2000s, or I won't even say early, but was the dark web or the deep web. I don't know. I think of this as like Reddit, and that's like as far down as I want to go. I like heard the term the deep web, and I found out I could access it if I did like some specific thing. So when I was younger, I thought it'd be interesting to see what it was like, but I didn't like see anything except for like I literally just copied and pasted this page this guy put there just to see if it existed, and it did. That's all I wanted to do. It's just see if it actually was real. So I confirmed that it's actually real, but I never delved there, I never dove there, I never did anything there. I just know that somehow that does exist. And like whenever someone tells me something new, it's like, oh, cool, I want to explore that. Isn't like my intuitive thing, but that's like at a certain point I just turn back and go, well, I don't want to see anything further because it's just creepy and weird. But anyway, the idea is like there's like a deeper or darker part of the internet, and that's what I saw when I was like browsing things on Reddit. Is that there's like some things that are just kind of strange. Like the weirdest thing I saw is the Penguin of Doom, and that was just like the weirdest. They call it copy pasta or whatever, or copy paste. It's copy pasta, and it's like the weirdest just like things on the internet they find. At a certain point, I just don't care because I don't like weird people. I don't like things that just aren't like regular, and things that are just like not in the realm of lunacy. So if you just get how normal people are and function, anything that doesn't exist in society should be out. And that's just like the rules of society, because we exist and cooperate and cohesively exist. Cohesively is what I was going to say. But coherently or cohesively still? I guess. But either way, our society exists as a whole together. And anything that doesn't exist within that society is by necessarily, of the definition, society, an outcast. So that's essentially what it means to be outcast in society. And that's why those people are outcasts. Put simply. But anyway, um, the idea of just seeing that kind of stuff and then realizing that there's like some kind of stuff that's like really out there on the internet is just like my kind of nope point where I'm just gonna go back to the regular surface stuff and just see the cool stuff that's interesting to me, like seeing AMAs from presidents and reading about like the Ask Reddit thing of the day, which is like a question, or what is it? The topic of the day, which is like I forget what it is now, but there's like a huge thing about it. It's like a general discussion about some interesting topic. But anyway, yeah. So it's like all fascinating stuff. All societally relevant too, because those are the kind of ideas that help a society to mold and blossom and flourish, much like the Americas I think are still doing these days and age or in this day and age. But anyway, we're in the modern day and in this present age. I don't know. The idea that Europe hit its golden point, I think, a long time ago, is pretty prevalent and apparent in the ruins or preserved old towns there. If you go and walk around in Europe, you'll notice that all of it's very old, and that's because Europe was huge and flourished a long time ago. But the Americas are still brand new, and Africa, I think, is yet to hit its peak. So keep an eye out for that in the future. But I think in this day and age, it's pretty much prime for America to take the stage, just based on everything that's been happening and everything that's relevant to America today. But anyway, it's hard to say about China because I think China prospered during the Mao Zedong revolution. But then again, who knows? Maybe there's another peak or golden age for them. I can't say. The other thing that I want to say or keep in mind, or have you keep in mind, or I wanted to say to you that maybe you'll keep in mind, is that I'll get distracted for a sec. The idea of I guess I could talk about stoicness. It's actually not a bad idea. The idea that nothing can hurt you or phase you if you maintain your composure, but your complete existence's resolve. So if you know that and you are true to that and you stay with that, then nothing can harm you, nothing may cause you to fail, and nothing can hurt you. So those are just 3 facts of life that are really. Does it just go ruh? I don't know. That are just like really apparent to you. So, that are really just like, what the fuck was that? It was like really apparent to me, and that was weird. But that are just like, it goes again. It goes ruh. I don't know. I think the dogs are broken. Existence. Whatever the metaphor applies to, it's just broken, and I think Killer's gonna have to pay for it with this book. It's mind in a jar or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's Mason. There's one girl from work, Nicole Sayers' husband's job, because there's this thing about Mason jars, this thing about one man, one jar, and there's this thing about Call of Duty where the numbers mean Mason or whatever. So I don't know. But anyway, this is just a joke being reference to something that may or may not exist, and I don't know or care. So anyway, the idea of stoicism though is really important. So which is that. But anyway, that's I guess as much as you could glean from that. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to what I was doing, and that's talking about including this video. So peace out from your friend Jonathan. I'll see you when I see you.